All right, everybody, welcome back to Techno Security here in Wilmington, North Carolina. 2024 edition. This is the last day of the show, but I tell you what, it's still just as busy as ever. You can probably hear the background noise. They moved us up to the big kid table this year. Before, in years past, we're normally outside of the showroom, and this year we actually are right here on the exhibit floor. So if you see anybody heckling or maybe throw something at my guest here, Rob, which I'll talk about in just a second, then that's what's happening, because we're literally right here in the thick of it. Anyway, let's move on to my guest that I brought on, Rob Maddox, and you know, I don't need to introduce him because we've worked and we've known each other for
decades.
Yeah, a few years, just a couple. We're young guys, so you know, in there at our former positions now. But where are you at now?
Yeah, so thanks again, Kevin, for having me on. It's great to see you as always.
Absolutely.
Long time relationship, so it's good to be here as well. And hello to all of your members that are listeners that are out there. So right now I'm with Detego Global.
Awesome.
Their
Such
director,
a great company.
It is. It's amazing. Joined them in May 1st. There's their director of training for North America.
Man.
Yeah, thanks. It's a great fit. Just I love the enthusiasm. I mean, they've been around for 20 years, but they still have that startup mindset.
Yep.
So agile, supportive, collaborative, from our founder Dave Kirk all the way down to guys like me in the trenches. Just a great fit, great mission, great values, and support of military, law enforcement, intelligence communities. Now the enterprise community as well. That everything just fit and resonated with who I am and where I started in local law enforcement, and having spent my career training law enforcement and government and military around the globe, it's just a perfect fit. So,
what state were you in? You were local. I forgot all about that.
Yeah, so I was a local officer in Oregon.
Okay.
In Central Oregon. So shout out to Ben PD.
There you go.
And then Deschutes County Sheriff's Office out there is where I started in the jail. Yep.
Nice.
And then from there went to National White Collar Crime Center.
Yeah.
And then worked with a lot of guys like the icons like Keith Lockhart's and Rob Attos and Rob Freeds and all those guys and Buddy Tidwells that have all kind of we've moved on to other companies and helped them grow and build their training programs. Magnet, I was at Magnet after Access Data.
Yep.
So yeah, just it's funny coming back to this conference. I've been in the incident response space for about the last 5 or 6 years, working ransomware investigations, driving IR teams and cyber threat intel teams and endpoint monitoring teams. So to bring that experience back down into this realm is great, because now I can see the benefits for all the things we've been doing over the years in digital forensics, and how that plays out into the IR world. With threat mitigation and then data recovery and restoration of the business after an event, and all these tools and how those tools can kind of make life so much easier for the investigators, for the companies. So, but being back here it's kind of like bringing the band back together, right? It's nice to see former students that I taught 15 years ago coming up to me at the booth saying, "Oh, Max, it's great to see you," and like, "Oh my gosh, it's so good to see you too," right? It's really it's just a great fit overall. I mean, these conferences, you can't say enough good things about Jen's team. They put them together. Everybody who's here, we've all known each other for decades.
Forever.
It's like having just a big extended family coming back for a reunion again.
Right.
And we kind of have to work while we're here, but it is nice to see everybody and support each other. And it's what I love about this is, even though we're all at different vendor booths, we've all grown up in the business together.
Absolutely.
So it doesn't matter where we've all landed. We're all still that same tight-knit community supporting each other.
Yep.
It's kind of like, I think of like Miracle on 34th Street, right, where the lady comes in and asks Santa Claus for a toy, and he says, "Hey, we don't have it here, but they have it across the street."
Right.
Same kind of thing at this event. Someone will come to your booth.
Yep.
You might not have a solution for their need, but you know somebody 2 aisles over who does.
Right.
And you can say, "Hey, listen, go see so-and-so. They've got a tool or a product that will fit what you're looking for."
Yep.
I mean, that's the kind of vibe you have here. That's the kind of relationship you have here with the other vendors, and that's what I love about the event.
And that's one of the best things about this, is just the family of it, because I saw you out and about last night. We were at an event together, and it was like a bunch of different old vendors all come together, because in the end, that's what it is. It's a community of investigators, and that's kind of why we built Cyber Social Hub the way we did.
Exactly.
It's just to help, because it's so great to see all the people all the time, but as soon as the event's over, like today, and then I won't see everybody again for at least until the next one. And I wanted a place that full-time that we could keep bringing people back together.
Exactly, yeah. And the beauty of that, too, is that we stay connected that way through the Cyber Social Hub, through our emails and text and all that. But every time, even if we're gone 5 years apart, as soon as we're all back together, it's like we never left, right? It was just like, oh, yeah, we just saw you yesterday.
Right.
It's that family, feel and mutually supportive feel. It's just so neat about this kind of community. It just resonates support.
Yeah.
Not only for the, obviously the vendors, but the attendees that are here. I mean, we're all here for them. At the end of the day, it's about them and their mission and supporting their mission. And that's just a great feel. That's why I say I love the fit at Detego for that very reason.
Yeah.
Love supporting you guys for that very reason, because you've been there forever.
It's so good to have you back in the community, man.
Great.
You have no idea. It's awesome to see you again. So
nice
you guys had a talk. Detego gave a talk.
We did, yeah. We did the other day.
What was that about a little bit? Some of the challenges?
We don't like to do commercials, right?
Right.
So you're talking about things that are topical for the community and the attendees and the investigators who are out there. So we focused on the importance of artificial intelligence in the workflow.
Okay.
And how that's changing kind of traditional paradigms in investigations and data collections and analytics. Also kind of changing the paradigm of investigators and their thought process. Well, it's an automated tool. I don't want to do that. Okay, look, you're still doing the work, right? This just helps you work smarter, not harder, right? You've got a case backlog, use your AI to help you clean it up, right? You've got a case you've been working, let's say you've been in the field for 12 hours on a search warrant, now you're back at the lab, and traditionally you're spending another 6 to 8 hours processing that evidence.
Oh boy.
Fatigue sets in very quickly.
It does.
I've been there, done that, I can tell you it does. You miss things, right? And you come back fresh the next day and you're like, why didn't I see that? Right, so what AI is doing for a lot of these tools out there is helping us with that part of the workflow. It's automating a lot of these processes. It's speeding up that workflow. It's making that workflow more efficient. It's also trainable, right? So it learns, right? So if I'm looking for things like object recognition, facial recognition, video analytics, any of those kind of things that traditionally has been a manual process of visually analyzing images and videos, it's doing that for us automatically and taking that heavy lifting out.
That saves a ton of time.
It saves a ton of time.
The video piece alone. Oh my gosh, how many times, like early days, like having to, granted, we're going to age ourselves with the VHS tapes, right? Having to fast forward and watch it and fast forward, hopefully you're not missing something. And now the AI can pick up on
it. Could do that, pieces. And think about, like you mentioned, the video stuff, like the CCTVs, right? I remember back in the day, you'd get these security videos from like a 7-Eleven. And they say, here, you guys are forensics guys, you can like do your fancy forensic stuff and make it work, right? Okay, so you take it back, and I don't care how I zoom in or zoom out, it's still a blurry license plate pulling up to the store.
Right.
So now with AI, what it does is it can take that license plate that's blurry in literally almost any resolution, and you are cleaning it up to the point that you now visually see the characters on the license plate.
Wow.
It's amazing, that's
that
all because of that AI back
amazing.
end. It is, And now, think about maybe a series of videos that you have within a city, tracking a suspect vehicle through various video feeds. I can bring all those video feeds into my forensics platform, run those AI analytics, and now I can track that vehicle across geographic locations within the city. I can find directions of travel from the victim's location.
Right.
I mean, all those analytics are built in, and all of that stuff is there because of AI. So, I will say I'm old, right? I've been around a while, but I love this kind of stuff, and I'm certainly not resistant to it because I appreciate what it's there for, right?
Yeah.
I still have to do the work. I still have to roll up my sleeves and sometimes look at the hacks and bits and bytes, but if I can use a tool like that I know I can train to look for certain things and let it do that heavy lifting, makes my life so much easier. The other thing
is to make your life easier. That's what it comes down to. A lot of people don't trust it, I think, is a problem.
Exactly.
Especially, law enforcement are naturally distrusting people, right?
That's who we are.
Raise your eyebrow, look like what?
That's right,
No, I don't.
We're skeptic, right? Well, but, again, what I say is it gets back to that phrase, trust but verify. Right?
Absolutely.
Famous phrase, use it a lot in forensics, right? I trust my forensics tool, I'm still going to verify that what it's telling me is accurate.
Right.
So same thing with AI. You're not going to just carte blanche trust AI. You still want to use it, but you still need to be able to do that verification. So that's where the forensics training comes into play, right? That's where the investigative experience comes into play. So even if you're a relatively new examiner, or if you're a seasoned examiner with a gray hair or missing hair, you've still got to verify that stuff, right? So,
absolutely.
now the other thing about AI that I love is it will do a lot of that video and image analysis for you. The heavy emotional cases, the ICAC, the CSAM cases, where you're dealing with really heavy evidence on a daily basis, it wears down the examiner, right? I know, right? And so what a lot of these tools are doing is, they're running the hashing, the verification, but it allows you to do things like blur the images in the UI. So
really?
Yeah, so I don't have to look at this stuff for hours at a time. I can run my hash analysis. I know the images are there. I've already got the Project Vic or the CADE, match, so I can tag those, bookmark them, and move on. I don't have to spend hours visually scrolling through all these pictures.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
I mean, after 6 months or so, you got to get a decompression break, right?
Yeah.
And so I think, we spend so much time focusing on get the evidence, get the case processed, get the prosecution done. We tend to overlook sometimes the mental health of our examiners, right? And especially those ICAC teams that are doing this day in and day out. Anytime you can take a tool to help them kind of with their mental health, that's great.
Make it available.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, but the AI, I think, is critical, mission critical partner for us in our investigations, and so that's what our talk was really focused on: is how is AI changing the traditional kind of paradigms of not only the collections workflow, the analysis workflow, right, to make life a little bit easier, get that heavy lifting done.
And it's only going to get better. I mean, we use a lot of different tools to help us out and assist us in the primary things. Why not use AI? I'm always skeptical of everything, being the former cop, like we all are. But AI is something that I think is going to really help and take investigations to that next level.
It will.
It helps you, just like you said, helps narrow it down and really let you focus in and do those verifications. Like, okay, this is what it says I need to look at, so now I can look at do the verification.
Exactly, and like you said, it's growing leaps and bounds every day.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
just amazing what it could do, and it's really, in terms of what it can do, it's really only limited by the application we're coming up with, right? So if, like the video analysis AI, tracking that license plate, facial recognition, the big thing right now is deep fake.
Yeah.
Right, that's the hot topic. So a lot of these AI models are looking at that and finding ways to, is this, as we used to say, because we're old, live or Memorex, right? Right? Yeah, I'm dating myself there, but is it live or is it a deep fake, right? And so that's really powerful stuff. There's legislation now, I know, in many states, and I know at the national level in the U.S. here, about how do we deal with that, right? Is this a crime, right? Is this typical, CSAM image that's been deep faked and built with an AI engine? Where does that fall on the spectrum?
Right.
I mean, yes, it depicts an ICAC image, or yes, it depicts a CSAM image, but if it's not a real person as a victim, is that a criminal act?
Right.
So that's what all these states are struggling with, and so having tools that are capable of identifying, is this live, is this a deep fake image, will help in those legislative decisions as these states make these kind of difficult choices on where do they go on that criminal roadmap. So, like I said, AI is the future. That's where we're going. You have to, in this line of work anyway, you have to embrace change.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah. Right. And so I think
fast.
It does. Yeah. And I think just that AI is really going to be a great partner for us in that investigative process.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Rob. Thanks so much, man.
No, it's a pleasure.
I appreciate it. I want to have you on a longer show because I try to limit these down to 15 minutes at here.
Yep. I know.
Every Friday we do them about 2 o'clock, so Eastern. So I'll steal you, and we'll do a full hour and just we can dive into all these topics a little bit deeper.
Yeah, I'd love to talk some cyber hygiene and ways to mitigate the threats from a cybersecurity standpoint. Would love it.
Excellent, man. Thank you
so much.
Talk
about our training roadmap at Detego. And
oh, heck yeah.
Yeah, appreciate it. And,
got a whole new thing coming, right?
We do.
Excited about it. So now that's my teaser, right? We're going to bring him. We're going to make Rob come onto the show. That way he can talk more about that.
Pleasure. Kevin, great to see you again, brother.
Thanks
always,
so much.
My friend. Appreciate the support of the mission.
Yep, excellent. And hey, to you guys out there, we're going to be going live probably 1, maybe 2 more times from the show. This is the last day at the event here at Techno Security in Wilmington, North Carolina. I still have a habit want to say Myrtle Beach occasionally, and it's been 2 years now, so we'll get it. But hey, make sure you hit the little bell icon, and that way when we do go live, you get notified right away. Until then, we'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thanks.